Welcome to the Purge. Or I guess that's what's happening. Alright, I'm still trying to battle my own battles here while everything falls apart and switches over, and so I don't know what the hell. Hang in there, probably till I figure out what I'm doing. I'm going to switch over to another platform, but I'll announce that when I get all my ducks in line, get ready to do it. In the meantime, I would make a lot of noise about this, of course, what's going on with InfoWars and all of the conservative sites. Do indeed call your representatives, email them, pester the hell out of them. If you really want to have some fun, go visit them. But I know they're probably screwing with me here because, well, I don't know, you tell me. I was gaining about, back at me, 4 subscribers a day on average. And now it seems to be going backwards, so I can't imagine that my new format, Ugly Puss, is chasing that many people away. But I could be wrong. In the meantime, the best thing you can do for me is you personally share my videos. Go out and let people know I'm there. Obviously, if the big tech giants are going to shadow ban me, and push us around, we have to stick together, and if you wouldn't mind, go out there and do something about this. It would be a big help. Like, subscribe, and of course, I really appreciate it when you go out there and buy one of my designs. There's no better way, of course, to start a conversation than with images. Images work. Propaganda works. So, get my images out there. Let's spur some people to think. Wow, gee, what an idea, huh? Thinking. Such a lost art. I know we can bring it back. I have faith. This is a good video. This is a guy that's a health inspector for the largest food or protein food provider in the world. See if you can guess who that is. And of course, try and guess the questions I should have asked him. Would have liked to have more time with them, but we were interrupted by a fat-ass social justice warrior who wanted to crap all over our conversation and tell us how fucking miserable she was. So, anyway, besides that part actually became enjoyable to an extent. But there's some useful information here about the food you're eating. So get out there and spread this around. I'm not going to interrupt this any at all. So, see you on the streets. So where are you from? Where are you from?
We're from Indiana, Gordon, Indiana.
And what do you do up there?
I am the food safety director at Tyson Foods.
Really? Interesting. Because, I mean, all right, there's a lot.
Here, look at this.
People at Tyson, of course, is what? If not the biggest, what is it? Like,
we're the biggest protein producer in the world.
Yeah. Amazing. Everything is food.
That's right.
Sorry.
You know what's sad is at our plant we employ about 450 people.
Yeah.
And we have about 250 Somalis that work there. And I don't know if they're getting a kickback for hiring them or not, but I know when they come in here, they have so many months where they get to work without paying any taxes. I know they get Social Security, they get assisted housing, they get food stamps.
Oh my God, that's
and that's where, when I get, in 10 years, when I'm eligible for Social Security, it's going to be in jeopardy if it's even there because people like that are drawing it right now.
You see, and this is where it gets into. I mean, Tyson, anytime gets something that gets as big as Tyson, the political aspects start rolling in. Because you can't be that big without dealing with politics and everything that's going on. But being at food safety is a lot of people they question things like the processed food alone. Is it, how is it good for us? How much is being taken out? GMOs come into play. The things that it's just the industrialized farming in itself. is, what does that do?
The GMO thing, that's just a big public scare. They've been doing it with seed plants and seeds for generations to grow more per acre. The antibiotic thing is I can see that because, there are streams now there in Indiana where they can test them just to stream water, and they'll detect small limits of, or small concentrations of antibiotic just from people taking them so much.
Well, that plus, I talked to enough water treatment guys out here to tell me that just the stuff that people flush down their toilets is polluting a lot of and a lot of the stuff that goes through the water treatment plants is not filtered out. They don't have the filters for the drugs and that are in there.
The sad thing is, the biggest waste of money, in my opinion, that our government spends as far as food goes is on USDA meat inspectors. I could take a chicken, tie it to the back of my truck and drag it from where I work to my house. And as long as I wash it real good and cook it to temperature, I can eat it and it'll be fine. But we're soaking it, this is industry-wide, they soak it in PAA, parasitic acid, to kill Salmonella, E. coli, and Campylobacter, things that give you food poison if you eat them. When all you'd have to do is just expect the public to read a label and cook it the way it's supposed to be cooked and handle it the way you're supposed to before you cook it, and you wouldn't need any of that. But in 20 years or 10, maybe sooner, 10 years, they're going to come out with studies about what this stuff is what this stuff is doing to us, that they're soaking it in now.
Yes.
Parasitic acid it's like a really, really, really strong vinegar. But there are people that work where I work that have reactions to it. If they get too close to where it's applied and they breathe it, or they get it on their skin, it'll burn them. And it's no telling what that stuff's doing to us.
Indeed. And then there's all kinds of arguments that bleed from this. The fact that, I'll just do a parallel. The government says they want to take care of us, so they put fluoride in the water, which is, to me, why? You're not a doctor. And there's no proven studies that show fluoride does anything but kill a lot of germs, good, bad, and ugly. So, if I wanted to go ahead and get rat poisoning, I can know where to get it. I'll put it in my water myself if I want to drink it. So why would they do that? Knowing if a layperson can find these things out, why would the government mandate that cities put fluoride in the water? And it goes back to, the eugenics programs or the culling of the herd. So there's where the scare comes in with companies like Tyson's, when you have a handful of majors that control most of the food. Thank you, sir, very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Because the attack on small farmers has been relentless.
That's right.
And all governments are afraid of independent people. So if we have to depend on major, centralized more and more of resources, be it government, or anything, that's why the trend towards socialism is so scary.
That's right.
Well, isn't the government sending out a $12 billion bailout to the farmers, in a sense, socialism? It's a bailout because of tariffs that he imposed. So here's the government bailing out farmers.
Well, indeed, there's corrections that have to be made
on mistakes that he made caused this shit.
I think the crap had already hit the fan before he got in.
Yeah.
Not from Obama. It started way before Obama. But this thing's been going on for decades. What I was just talking about with this man is the long systemic plan of the move towards centralization in order to go ahead, once they do gain control of all of what it is needed for us to survive, that's when the real killing starts in earnest. Because once we are removed from our individuality to make our decisions for ourselves, it's over.
start herding us like cattle. People don't understand.
No, that's
well, indeed. Well, that's why they're pissed at him, because he's breaking up the globalist agenda. He's breaking up the things that were moving us away further and further from our individual.
He wants you to have your rights. He wants you to be an independent person, and what they want is for you to be.
I mean, yeah, that's one way of looking at it.
Well, you can laugh at it, but can you point at a metric right now that has improved? I mean, we just had a 4.1 sustainable GDP. We got, record employment for Latinos, blacks, women, everybody. People I'm talking to out here earlier today, I asked them how are things, how are big small business owners. Things are doing great. We're expanding. So people have confidence, a lot of confidence. And it's like I mentioned, Clinton said it, it's the economy, stupid. So indeed, the economy is improving. And the fact that I look at a guy who were his enemies and judge that way. Well, who were his enemies? His enemies were the elitists in his own party, all of the media, 95% of them, mostly of Hollywood, all of Silicon Valley. He had the Pope against him, and now it's come out with all the, the documentation that's been released that the Department of Justice was weaponized by the Obama administration against Trump and hid her crimes. This has all come out.
Still doing it.
And yet, we're not seeing anything from Sessions. He's sitting on his butt. And everybody's I'm speaking to out here is steam that the reason we put him in is because lock her up was not just a campaign slogan. We're living in a two-tier justice system. We're watching people get away with crimes that we go to jail for. So lock her up was not a campaign slogan. We want to see some justice.
Is justice being done by the 12 indictments for his...
No, for what? For what? Do you know what it was for?
You tell me they're getting indicted, so they got.
But for what? For what? I'll tell you what it was for. Bloggers, Russian bloggers. And what did they get indicted for? What were the charges? They spent $5,000 on Facebook ads. That's it. That's all it was.
All that stuff is just something to put in the media until the midterms get here, because they want the Republicans to lose the House and the Senate. They don't want you to focus on the economy and the jobs and how everything's going. They want you to focus on stuff that didn't even really happen. But, the worst part about it is 95% of the public is ignorant to what's really going on. The easiest way...
And where should you go to get your news and do your research to figure this all out? Or who do you listen to?
I watch Fox News. Fox News tells both sides. I listen to a lot of talk radio. That's right.
What talk radio, though?
I listen to Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, Mark Levin.
I would go beyond them.
I gotta go get.
I would go beyond them. Man, no, I understand why all this information might confuse you. God bless you too. Try to educate them.
You could be here for 100 years talking to people like her. They're never going to get it. But what they don't understand is, the way the healthcare system was before Obamacare, if she got, God forbid, some kind of really bad disease, the decision to treat that would be between her and her doctors. The insurance companies would kick in whatever, and then the doctors and her would make an educated decision. If Obamacare was fully kicked in, neither one would have a say in it. The government would tell.
Well, yeah, and all the doctors and nurses I've spoken to out here, 99% of them, when I always ask them this question, I go, give me one word to describe Obamacare, and 99% of them will give me something negative and, give me a
That's right.
thing. But the food couldn't be any more important. I really thank you for your testimony on that and all.